The same fear about eggs has been circulating for a long time. There is cholesterol in them, so you shouldn't eat them. And people live with this belief for years without even asking the question, is it actually still relevant? Today we'll break down what changes in the body if you eat eggs every day. And also about one organ that most often drops out of the discussion, even though it is very important here. Hello everyone, I'm Sinia Novak. There will be no scare tactics and no moralizing, just facts and logic. Let's go. Let's start with what is actually inside an ordinary chicken egg. Because when you understand the composition, it immediately becomes clear why this product is so unique. One medium egg is about 6-7 g of protein. And this is not just protein, but a complete protein with an ideal amino acid profile. What does that mean? It means it contains all 9 essential amino acids that your body cannot produce on its own. It gets them only from food. And the egg provides them in exactly the ratio needed to build muscles, hormones, enzymes, and immune cells. I often hear, well, I eat cottage cheese, there's protein there too. Yes, cottage cheese is good, but the digestibility of egg protein is 98%. It's the gold standard. The World Health Organization uses egg protein as the benchmark for comparing all other protein sources. Now the yolk, this is where the most interesting part begins. Many people still throw away the yolks and eat only the whites. This is a huge mistake because it is in the yolk that the lion's share of nutrients is concentrated. The yolk contains choline, a vitamin-like substance that is critically important for the brain. One egg gives you about 147 milligrams of choline. The daily requirement for women is 425 milligrams, for men 550 milligrams. That means 2-3 eggs a day cover a significant part of the need. And do you know what choline does? It participates in the synthesis of acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter responsible for memory, learning, and concentration. Choline deficiency is one of the causes of age-related cognitive decline, that very forgetfulness and absent-mindedness that many people attribute to age. There are studies from Boston University. They followed 2,700 people for 10 years. Those who got enough choline showed significantly better results on memory tests and had lower risks of developing dementia. Next, the yolk contains lutein and zeaxanthin. These are carotenoids that accumulate in the retina and protect it from damage. Age-related macular degeneration is one of the leading causes of blindness after 60. And these two substances from eggs really reduce the risk of this disease. Moreover, lutein from eggs is absorbed better than from vegetables because it is in a fat environment, and it is a fat-soluble substance. From spinach, for example, about 10% is absorbed. From eggs, 3 to 4 times more. There is also vitamin D in the yolk. In our latitudes, 80% of the population has a deficiency of this vitamin, especially in winter. Vitamin D is not just about bones. It's about immunity, mood, prevention of autoimmune diseases, and even oncology. One egg provides about 41 international units of vitamin D. This is not much relative to the daily requirement, but every bit counts. Vitamin A for skin, vision, and immunity. Vitamin E, an antioxidant. B vitamins for the nervous system and energy. Metabolism. Selenium for the thyroid gland. Iron, phosphorus, zinc. One egg is a small biochemical laboratory, and when you eat it every day, your body receives regular support on all fronts. Now let us talk about what specifically starts happening to the body when eggs become part of the daily diet. I'll break it down by systems so it's clear and visual. Let's start with muscles. After the age of 40, natural muscle loss begins. This is called sarcopenia. Every year you lose about 1% of muscle if you do nothing. By the age of 70, this can be up to 30%. So daily consumption of high-quality protein is one of the main ways to slow this process. Eggs are ideal because protein from them is absorbed quickly and completely. Studies show that older people who eat enough protein retain muscle mass and physical activity much longer. Let's move on. The brain. Remember I talked about choline? That's just the tip of the iceberg. Eggs contain omega-3 fatty acids. True, in small amounts, but they are there, especially if the chickens were fed properly. Omega-3s are needed for the fluidity of neuronal cell membranes. This is about the speed of signal transmission, mood, and protection against inflammation. There is evidence that people who regularly eat eggs suffer less from depression because eggs contain all the precursors for the synthesis of serotonin and dopamine, the neurotransmitters of good mood. Now about the heart and blood vessels. This is where the most interesting and controversial part begins, because for many years we were told eggs raise cholesterol, and cholesterol is atherosclerosis, heart attacks, strokes. Because of this, an entire generation was afraid of eggs like fire. So this is a myth, an outdated, debunked but still persistent one. Yes, one egg contains about 186 milligrams of cholesterol, but the problem is that dietary cholesterol has a very weak effect on blood cholesterol. Your liver itself produces about 80% of cholesterol. This is normal. It is needed for the synthesis of hormones, vitamin D, and the construction of cell membranes. When you eat cholesterol from food, the liver simply reduces its own production. This is self-regulation. Moreover, large studies have shown that in most people, daily egg consumption does not increase the level of bad cholesterol in the blood, and in some it even increases the level of good cholesterol, high-density lipoproteins, which protect blood vessels. The Harvard School of Public Health conducted a meta-analysis of 17 studies involving more than 260,000 people in total. The conclusion: consuming one egg a day is not associated with an increased risk of cardiovascular disease in healthy people. Of course, there are nuances. If you already have diagnosed type 2 diabetes or severe hypercholesterolemia, an individual approach and consultation with a doctor are needed. But for most people, eggs are safe and even beneficial because eggs contain substances that protect blood vessels. The same carotenoids, vitamin E, phospholipids. They reduce the oxidation of lipoproteins, and it is oxidized cholesterol that is dangerous for arteries. Do you know what else amazes me? How eggs affect weight. Many people think that if you eat eggs every day, especially with the yolk, you will definitely gain weight because there is fat and calories. In fact, it's the opposite. Eggs are one of the best foods for weight control. First, they are very filling. Protein provides a long-lasting feeling of satiety, much longer than carbohydrates. There are studies where one group of people had eggs for breakfast, and another had bagels with the same number of calories. Those who ate eggs consumed 330 fewer calories during the day simply because they didn't feel like snacking. Second, eggs speed up metabolism. The body spends more energy digesting protein than digesting fats or carbohydrates. This is called the thermic effect of food. Third, eggs help preserve muscle during weight loss, and muscles are a furnace that burns calories even at rest. I often recommend that overweight patients include eggs in breakfast. The results are always good. People lose weight more easily, don't relapse, and feel more energetic. Here, by the way, is an important point. Write in the comments: do you eat breakfast every day? And if yes, what do you eat? I'm really interested because breakfast is the foundation of the whole day. And eggs for breakfast are one of the simplest and most effective health habits. I want to know your experience. Share it. Now let's talk about effects that are usually kept quiet about what is not obvious but very important. First, the liver. Yes, the liver. Remember the choline I mentioned at the beginning? Choline is critically important for the liver. It is involved in the transport of fats out of the liver. When there is not enough choline, fat begins to accumulate in liver cells. Fatty hepatosis develops non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. This is a very common problem. According to various data, 20–40% of the adult population has some degree of fatty hepatosis, and many don't even know about it until they have an ultrasound. Eggs are one of the best sources of choline. Daily egg consumption supports liver health and helps prevent fat accumulation. Second, hormonal balance. Cholesterol from eggs is the building material for sex hormones: testosterone, estrogen, progesterone. If you are on a low-fat diet, avoid eggs and other sources of healthy fats, your hormonal system suffers. This is especially important for women after 45–50 during menopause. Adequate intake of fats and cholesterol helps soften hormonal fluctuations. Third, bones. Vitamin D and phosphorus from eggs work here, plus protein. It is also needed for bone tissue, not just calcium. Studies show that older people with high protein intake have stronger bones and fewer fractures. Fourth, skin, hair, nails. These are visible indicators of health. Biotin, vitamin A, zinc, sulfur from eggs. All this nourishes the skin from the inside. I often see how people who start eating eggs regularly improve the condition of their hair. It becomes stronger, falls out less, nails stop splitting. Okay, Now an important question. How many eggs can you eat per day? Is there a limit? Honestly, for most healthy people there is no strict limit. Studies show that even 3 eggs a day are absolutely safe. There are data on people who ate 6 to 7 eggs daily for years, and their health indicators were normal. But I am always for a reasonable approach. 1 to 3 eggs a day is optimal. This gives you all the benefits, without unnecessary strain. Plus, it is important to eat a varied diet. Eggs should not be the only source of protein. Another point is the cooking method. The best options are boiled eggs, soft-boiled, hard-boiled, poached. Frying in oil adds extra calories and can form harmful compounds at high temperatures. If you fry, use a minimum of oil, preferably on a non-stick pan. I do not recommend raw eggs. First, the risk of salmonellosis, albeit small. Second, raw egg white contains avidin, a substance that binds biotin and interferes with its absorption. During heat treatment, avidin is destroyed. And the quality of eggs matters. Eggs from chickens that walk outside, eat grass and insects, contain more omega-3 and more vitamins. If possible, by far more organic eggs. There is a difference. Now let me dispel a few more myths that I constantly encounter. Myth 1. Eggs cause allergies, so they should not be eaten by children and adults with allergies. In fact, egg allergy occurs in about 2% of children, and in most cases it goes away by school age. In adults, egg allergy is rare. If you do not have a confirmed allergy, eggs are safe. There is no difference in nutritional value. Myth 3. Eggs raise blood pressure. There is no scientific evidence that eggs increase blood pressure. On the contrary, some studies show that peptides from eggs may have a slight hypotensive effect. Myth 4. You can't eat eggs if you have gallstones. Here, caution is needed. Yes, the yolk stimulates gallbladder contraction. If you have large stones, there may be an attack. But if the gallbladder is healthy or the stones are small and under control, eggs are even beneficial because they stimulate bile flow and prevent stagnation. Now, the most important thing, I want you to understand one thing. Eggs are not a magic pill. They will not cure diabetes, will not remove excess weight on their own, will not make you 20 years younger. But they are one of the most accessible, simple, and powerful tools for maintaining health. This is the foundation. This is a daily investment in your body. When you eat eggs every day, you give your body everything it needs for normal functioning. Protein for muscles, choline for the brain, lutein for the eyes, vitamins for immunity, fats for hormones. This is comprehensive support, and the most wonderful thing is that it works. Of course, context is needed. If you eat eggs but at the same time smoke, don't move, and eat fast food, the effect will be minimal. Health is a system, but eggs are an excellent entry point into this system. Let me summarize. What exactly happens to the body with daily egg consumption? Body composition improves, muscles grow, body fat percentage decreases. This is especially important after 40. The brain works better. Memory and concentration improve, and the risk of age-related cognitive decline decreases thanks to choline. Vision is protected. Lutein and zeaxanthin prevent retinal degeneration. The heart and blood vessels are fine. Contrary to myths, eggs do not harm the heart. And for many people, even improve the lipid profile. Weight control becomes easier. Eggs keep you full for a long time and speed up metabolism. The liver works more efficiently. Choline prevents fatty hepatosis. Hormonal balance is stable. Cholesterol is needed for hormone synthesis. Bones are stronger. Protein, vitamin D, and phosphorus strengthen bone tissue. Skin, hair, and nails are healthier. Visible signs of internal health. Immunity is stronger. A full spectrum of vitamins and minerals supports the body's defenses. Here's what I want you to do right now. If you have eggs at home, great. Tomorrow morning, boil yourself 2 eggs for breakfast, soft-boiled or hard-boiled as you like. Add vegetables, and if you can't do without bread, choose whole grain and you'll have a perfect start to the day. Try doing this every day for a week, just 1 week, and see how you feel. I'm sure you'll notice a difference in energy, mood, and feeling of fullness. And if you already have experience with daily egg consumption, share in the comments what changes you noticed. Or maybe you have questions, ask them. Like this video if the information was useful. It helps the channel grow and help more people get honest medical knowledge, and subscribe if you haven't already. We have many more important topics ahead about sleep, hormones, nutrition, and longevity. Everything that really works and is confirmed by science. take care of yourself, eat eggs, be healthy. Bye.